Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Abrar Rashid with another video on moving to Canada. We all know that many people around the world, especially from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, and other subcontinent people who are very much interested in moving to Canada. And this is not a video about the beginners, but for those who intend to move to Canada, those who have already got immigrant visa, and there are small 4 or 5 tips for those who want to move to Canada. Either they are single, either they are married, or they have a small family, like family of 4, husband and wife, and 2 kids, or maybe a family of 5, but I will generally talk about a couple with 2 kids. Before I go further and share these tips with you, let me share my experience, because once I was a Canadian resident along with my wife and my kids. I got PR in 2001. Yeah, 2001. But I could not settle there, so I decided to come back to Pakistan, my own home country. Many people think that it's quite weird, or I should have, tried my luck over there, but that I simply and very frankly speaking, that I think Canada is not my cup of tea. But those who want to move there, I don't want to discourage them. What I would suggest to them is that as soon as they land in Canada, they should remember one thing: that whatever their job was in their home country, whether they were heading a company, whether they were CEO, whether they were managers, directors, boss, whatever, you should be mindful that as soon as you land in Canada, you have to start from scratch, zero. Your experience will not count at all unless you are working in a multinational company and that company transfers your position to Canada, then that's okay. Otherwise, first of all, you will have to upgrade your education, your qualification, some short courses. And wherever you will go, they will ask you for Canadian job experience, which obviously you won't have. And for that, I would suggest that you should take internship, whether even if it's unpaid internship, 2-3 months. And another important thing that I would like to share is that make sure that you have enough funds to survive at least 1 year. And to survive means that if you have 2 kids, education is obviously free, but if you have 2 kids and if you have a spouse or your wife, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay transportation, and you have to pay for your grocery, all that. Suppose if you have a 1-bedroom apartment, obviously depending on the area where you live, 1-bedroom apartment usually costs like $1,200 to $1,500, $1,600, $1,800. And if you have apartment in basement, obviously that is much cheaper. But you should be mindful that you have enough money to survive at least for a year without a job. But having said that, I would still suggest, if you get an odd job, part-time job, do not skip that. Do not let it go. Do not think that no, I will get a job of my own trade, my own experience, and highly paid job. No. If you want to meet your expenses, initially whatever job comes your way, you should get it. Even if your spouse gets an offer from any kind of factory or warehouse or some store, you should encourage her to work. And there's one other thing that I would like, it might sound interesting to you, that I have already mentioned: upgrade your education. And any job, start from scratch, zero, and avoid buying car in Canada at least for a year, until and unless you have a very decent good job and decent earning. I would suggest that you should always rely on public transport, which is very good, and you can get monthly and weekly passes of whether it's a subway, whether it's a the other transportation like buses and trams. You can get that monthly card, but do not buy a car, because for buying in order to buy a car you have to give at least 20 to 30% amount in advance, and then you have to pay monthly installments, which can be on higher end. If you are not earning, that means that you are depleting your own resources. If you have a good job, then you can buy your own car. And then buying a car in Canada, then you will be facing parking problems. Most of the apartments, they do not offer parking spaces. Some apartments do offer parking spaces. You have to park your car on the road. But I would suggest that you should avoid buying car at least for a year, and be prepared for the worst. And then any bad will any bad will feel much better if you are prepared for the worst. I hope these tips will benefit you, those of you who want or wish to settle in Canada, and I wish you all the luck. I know that some people still, even in my family, think that that was the worst, if not worst, bad decision of my life, that I haven't settled in Canada when I got the opportunity in 2001. And if I had settled over there, I would have been Canadian citizen. But I think I am quite contented whatever I am and wherever I am. Thank you for watching, and if you need any more queries about Canada, you can leave your question in the comment section. I would be glad to reply to those. Thank you very much again. Goodbye.